Hello students, how are you all? So, are you ready to start this new chapter of our history, which is chapter 9, Women and Social Reforms? In this chapter, you will study about the condition of women 18th century, changes in the 19th century, status of women in the 19th century, social and religious reforms, education for girls, impact of literature. The condition of women 18th century. The Indian society was divided into gender and caste system during the 18th century. Women were to help men only. It was in the grip of many social and religious evils such as practice of sati, the parda, polygamy, female infanticide, child marriage, restriction on widow remarriage, and illiteracy. Women did not have the right to inherit property. They were dependent on their menfolk in their family. Women had to follow the customs of their husband's household. After her husband's death, a woman was forced to live in a difficult situation as a widow or become a sati, immolating herself at the funeral pyre of her husband. Changes in the 19th century. The early years of 19th century came with the spread of education among the middle class. The middle class then realized and became disappointed at the miseries of a woman's life. New means of communication had also developed. The invention of printing press had made the publication of newspapers, magazines, books, journals, pamphlets, etc. easier. The Indian people became able to know about the different cultures. They started to read, write, and express their views on the issues of women. Modern ideas and views entered our society. And the reform movements of 19th century brought awareness among the Indian society towards the backwardness and exploitation of women and their causes. Many of them started to take steps towards the improvement of women's condition. Status of women in the 19th century. Women were found to follow the customs and traditions of the society in the 19th century. Their duty was to bear children, to look after the household. They were also forced to live under a difficult situation after their husband's death. Social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, influenced by the ideas of humanism and liberalism, started working for the upliftment of women. The prominent leaders compelled the British to pass some laws to introduce social reforms in India. Sati was an inhumane practice where a widow was forced to burn herself on the funeral pyre of her husband. It was abolished by the Governor General William Bentinck in 1829 at the insistence of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. This is the picture of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. In Bengal Presidency alone, 8,134 cases of sati were reported between 1850 to 28. Keshav Chandra Sen opposed Parda system and performed intercaste marriage. Female infanticide was banned. It means killing of infant girls. Many schemes like Ladli have been started for the benefit of girls. Child marriage was banned in 1891 and again in 1929. The Sharda Act of 1929 raised the age for marriage. Marriage of boys below 16 years and girls below 14 years was declared illegal. Now at present, it is 21 and 18 years respectively. Widow Remarriage Act was passed by the British government in 1856. It was with the persistent efforts of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar that widow remarriage was legalized. The evil practice of the dowry system has been banned by law, but unfortunately, it continues even today in some parts of India. Up to 1920, only the enlightened Indian men worked for the welfare and upliftment of women. They not only opposed discrimination against women, but also dedicated their lives to the cause of religious and social reforms. Later, many educated women also joined the welfare programs, and in 1927, an All India Women's Conference was organized. Gradually, the Indian society came to accept equality of men and women. Pandit Ramabai Rana De was another social reformer. She dedicated her life to the cause of women's rights. She set up a home for widows in Pune. Women were given vocational training also. Social and religious reforms. Many efforts were made to eradicate some of these social evils. The British also did not like the customs, traditions, and culture of Indians. They considered Indians as barbarians, inferior, and discriminated against them. Many educated Indians worked to bring socio-religious reforms and to improve the condition of women. They formed associations to work for reforms. Do you know the real name of Swami Ramakrishna Paramhans was Gangadhar Chattopadhyay and Swami Vivekanand was Narendranath Datta. Brahmo Samaj. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was a social reformer and crusader for the cause of a woman. In 1828, he founded the Brahmo Samaj, later called Brahmo Samaj, in Calcutta to work for social and religious reforms. Debendranath Tagore and Keshav Chandra Sen were actively involved in these activities. Ved Samaj. It was founded in 1864 in Madras. It was based on the ideals of Brahmo Samaj. C.S. Naidu was its most important leader. It encouraged the remarriage of widows and women's education. It also attacked on superstitions and caste system. This is a picture of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. This is a picture of Keshav Chandra Sen. Pratna Samaj. Pratna Samaj was founded by Mahadev Govind Ranade and Ramkrishna Bhandarkar in 1867 in Bombay. The association worked on Hindu-Muslim unity, widow remarriage, spread of modern education, abolition of caste system and untouchability, and improving social status of women. Satya Sodhak Samaj. Jyotiba Phule founded the Satya Sodhak Samaj in 1873. This association worked for caste equality and upliftment of the oppressed classes. People of all religions could accept its membership. Arya Samaj. The Arya Samaj was founded by Swami Dayanand Saraswati in 1875. It also worked for the eradication of social evils. This is the image of Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Ramakrishna Mission. Swami Vivekanand founded the Ramakrishna Mission in 1897. Ramakrishna Paramhans was his guru. This mission also worked for socio-religious reforms. Education for girls. Today, most girls go to school and receive education. But the situation was different in 19th century. There were so many misunderstandings regarding the education of girls among the people of male-dominated society. Girls were discouraged to attend school. People believed that girls who were educated would not find a husband. Another belief was that the husband of an educated woman will die young. The reformers of that period wanted women to be educated. Mahatma Phule, Savitribai Phule, and Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar were the biggest advocates of women's education. Impact of literature. Rabindranath Tagore, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, and Premchand were the great poets and writers of that period. They expressed the need for reforms for women through their writings. This is the image of Rabindranath Tagore. This is the image of Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Swami Dayanand Saraswati, who was the founder of Arya Samaj, started Kanya Gurukuls for the education of women. Kandakuri founded the Rajamundry Association in 1878, which tried to bring equality of all human beings. Kandakuri was known as Vidyasagar of South India. This is the image of Kandakuri Veerasalingam. Sarojini Naidu was a well-known social reformer and fought for women's rights and worked with the All India Women's Conference in 1927. Many women became good teachers and started organizations and institutions. Thus, the efforts of all these social reformers of 19th and 20th century led to the growth of various associations which played an important role in eradicating the evil practices of the society. This is the image of Sarojini Naidu. Do you know Munshi Premchand, real name Dhanpat Rai Srivastav, contributed to the reform movement in his own way. Through his writings, he contributed in the eradication of social evil like dowry system, the ill treatment of child widows, the oppression of the farmers. He married a child widow. What he believed in, he preached through his writings. Summing up, during the 18th century, the Indian society was in the grip of many social and religious evils, such as practice of sati and parda, polygamy, female infanticide, child marriage, restriction on widow remarriage, and illiteracy. The British considered Indians as barbarians, inferior, and discriminated against them. In the 19th century, the duty of a woman was to bear children to look after the household. Social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, influenced by the ideas of humanism and liberalism, started working for the upliftment of women. Rabindranath Tagore, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, and Premchand were the great poets and writers of that period. Thank you, class. Let's meet in the next chapter.